Okay guys, let's start back with basics with how to create the stock. I've had a couple of private questions about that, so let's start over again. So we have our real body. We're going to do operation number 1. We need to create stock on top of the real body. So I'm going to go to construction and I'm going to create an offset plane. And I'm going to offset it from that surface, that top surface, and I'm going to offset it 25 thousandths of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to make a sketch on top of that plane, or on that plane. So I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to choose that plane. Okay. Now let's just make a center point rectangle. If we use a center point rectangle, we can choose that center point. Okay. Now we need to dimension the rectangle. So we're going to go 3.5 inches, 3 inch, 500 thou by 3 3/4, 3 inch, 750 thousandths of an inch. So now that we've got our stock sketched on our plane that is 25 thousandths above the material, you can kind of see the gap. You can kind of see the gap right there. We need to extrude a body from that sketch. So go ahead and finish the sketch. Go to our extrude. Okay, it's already selected it. Let's pull it down and call it 2 inches, 2.00. Okay, here's one of the critical parts. You can't have it cut. It wants to cut by default because you're going through the original body. We're going to select a new body. Okay, so now we have body number 3 that we're going to make our setup on. So let's go over to our manufacturing space and let's create our setup. All right, I'm going to just close that one out so it doesn't confuse you. And I'm going to make a new setup. I'm going to choose the stock. So I'm going to go over here to stock. Instead of a relative size box, I'm going to select from solid, and I'm going to pick the body that we just made. And as far as the orientation of our work coordinate system, WCS, Z-axis plane and X-axis, our Z-axis is going to be the top face. Our X-axis is anything along the X-axis of our part. And then let's go to selected point and choose our upper left-hand corner, or our fixed jaw of our vise. Now let's hide the stock. So let's go ahead and hide that stock. For our model, we will choose the real body itself and then hit OK. So that's setup number 2. You can make the toolpaths of the previous video on top of that setup. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that answers some questions. Have a good night.